Welcome everyone to All Things Cruises. My name is Krista Wiley. I am a one-star double platinum, two-time IATAN card holder, and affectionately coined your guys' cruising queen. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. Today we are going to be going over the ins and outs of cruising. I developed this class probably a couple of years ago because I found that there were a lot of people who have never cruised before. You guys in the chat box, let me know, who here has never cruised before? Never stepped foot on a cruise? Oh, wow, a lot. Me, never. I've never cruised. Me, I've never been on a cruise. Me, sadly, nope. Me, never. I have never. Me. Well, this is exactly who I created this for. Even people who have cruised, maybe you're looking for a little bit more insight. You want to, maybe get another person's opinion. Now, these are things, like I said, lots of notes for you guys to take. You guys can simply just take screenshots, or I am recording so you guys can come back and watch it later, soak up all of those nuggets. Now, I did previously do this training and recorded it. However, I recently went on a cruise and I had some updates that I wanted to share with you guys. I get horrible motion sick, so I'm very nervous about it. Amber, don't worry. I actually have a section about that here in this training, as I too have horrible motion sickness, horrible motion sickness, so bad that my husband at one point said, why do you still cruise? Like, why do you cruise if you get so horribly sick? But then he cruised with me and I definitely have found a way. Now, that doesn't mean that every once in a while I don't still get a little woozy, but I've also learned how to handle that, right? Get some fresh air, right? Timothy said, just take a pill. Unfortunately, that does not always work for everyone. It did not always work for me, right? So we're going to go through several of those different things here on this training. Now, you guys, this photo, I love this photo. Anybody, where's this photo? Anybody? I know it's a super hard photo to, where am I at in this photo? Sydney, that is the Sydney Opera House. It is the Sydney Opera House. You guys, this is a photo I personally took from my cabin pulling into the Sydney Harbor. Absolutely beautiful. We were actually running a couple hours late. We were actually supposed to be into the port by like 6 or 7 in the morning, and we were running late. If you guys have never been to through the Tasman Sea, it is very unpredictable. And so it actually put us into the port a couple of hours late. But because of that, I was able to I only know because of Finding Nemo. I actually got to see the Finding Nemo house, which was pretty cool while I was there. But because we pulled in a couple of hours late, I was actually able to get this phenomenal photo straight from my cabin. I was in what is called a bump out room. And you guys could probably see a little bit right here up top what I mean by a bump out room. So no, I'm not hanging over the ledge. No, I'm not sticking my camera way over. This was legitimately the view from my balcony, from my bump out room. There you go. It is Travel by Tilly. Yes, Travel by Tilly. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Our cruise leaves next month. What are we going to do? How do we prepare? How do we make sure we have all of the things that we need? You guys, preparing for a cruise starts about a month and a half prior to, and that's what we're going to go over. As the days gets closer, your brain goes into overdrive as the passenger. Here are some things to make sure you are ready and have completed. Check in online. You guys, this check-in can be done either on the computer or on the app. Okay, either one of these can be done. And I actually have a training on what to do after somebody's gotten booked, and it'll tap a little bit more into that as well. But checking in online, this helps for a speedy check-in at the embarkation port. Yes, it is normal for them to be asked to input a credit card. This is what will be used for onboard expenses. If your client prefers paying their onboard expenses with cash, they do have that option, but will have to pay down their tab every day. Inquire with the specific cruise line. Now, one of the things that I thought was pretty cool, again, this was a Royal Caribbean cruise that I went on last month. But when you're doing your check-in, you can actually assign a card to the people. So for instance, I was doing the check-in for my oldest son, who was also in a room with my best friend. Well, my best friend, as much as she loves my son, does not want to have to pay for his onboard expenses. So she was able to put her card down for her, and I was able to put down my card for him. So those are for those onboard expenses. Now, this is super important to take note of because I actually had an agent reach out to me yesterday and ask this very question. I have a lady who is doing, there's a group, she's paying for all of the cabins. However, she doesn't want to pay for their onboard expenses. Is her card going to be charged that? No, because during that check-in process, you're going to be able to put in that credit card. Print out luggage tags. Oh, Ashley, it was you. There we go. Thank you for giving me that question, right? That's why I'm here. Print out your luggage tags. Super, super important. You guys, during the check-in process, there is going to be two things that you're going to have. You're going to have your boarding pass and you're going to have your luggage tags. You guys want to print these out. Yes, they can be printed in black and white, so no need to use your colored ink. You guys can print them in black and white. You guys are going to print these luggage tags out and you're going to have them on your suitcase prior to getting to the port. Every port I've ever been to, the moment I get out at the cruise port, they're going to take your luggage. For this one, we actually took a shuttle from our hotel to the cruise port. As soon as we got off the shuttle, there were luggage handlers right there taking our bags. So you guys want to make sure that those luggage tags are affixed to your bag. Now, I would not affix them to your bag prior to flying. If you guys are flying, then maybe hold off. I usually just put them in the thing and then I put them in my suitcase. And then once I get there, then I'll attach it. But I highly recommend these guys. I will also make sure to put the links in the details of this recording once I post it, so you guys can get these links as well. These are very sturdy. You'll attach them. They close up. That way, if it's raining, which it was raining for us when we got to our cruise port, our luggage tags weren't getting wet. They weren't, bleeding or whatnot. So that way they could still deliver them. Your luggage is going to be delivered to your room. Now, this one is going to be for Royal Caribbean and Celebrity. I know they have to be different. I apologize, but it is what it is. Right now, there is a separate one that is for all other cruise lines. And you guys can see here, they are different. Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, they're very slender and tall, whereas all the other cruise lines, they are not quite as tall and a little bit wider. So you guys can see here. Now, the reason why I'm showing you guys these is I know one of the questions that come up quite a bit is, what can I give my client? What can I do for my client? What kind of goodies can I give? And this is one that absolutely would be handy that you guys can give out. And I'm going to give you guys several different things throughout this that if you're looking for a goodie for your client will work. Okay. All right. All right, packing. You guys, anybody here hate packing? Anybody here think that's the worst part of vacation? Anybody here like me who's like, I hate packing? And it's not so much that I hate packing, is it's the weight. It's the weight of the bag, right? So I start getting anxiety about a week before because I'm like, okay, I'm also cheap. So I want to have to check as few of bags as possible because I don't want to have to pay to check my luggage or a bunch of suitcases. So I'm like, how many bags can I pack with the least amount of things? And then if I'm going to carry on these carry-ons, I got to make sure not to put any of these certain things in there. The weight always gets me. You guys, I don't have this in here, but also another thing that makes a really good goodie is luggage weight. The things that you can weigh your luggage. I have one. My best friend has one. I give them away all the time. I carry it in my backpack so I can weigh my luggage all the time, especially when I'm headed back, right? I hate unpacking even more. The weight always gets me. Absolutely. We all know the typical things to pack, but it's the things that you don't think of that you'll need the most. Remember, your client is on a ship, not a hotel. They can't just hop on down to the local store. I can't tell you how many times I've had to medicate table mates. I don't know how many times I've had to medicate people on the ship. Like, oh, my stomach hurts, right? Because they don't think about these different things. So you guys can go Google packing lists, right? There are fairly comprehensive packing lists out there, but typically the ones that I found, they're still missing things. Okay, they're still missing things, and these are some things that I'm going to think about. Now, maybe you have some things that you always pack, right? There are some other really cool things that I've seen out there that people do pack that really helps organize or keep their kids occupied and whatnot. So here are must-haves for every cabin. Now, unless you're a large family and you have 2 cabins, then maybe you don't need it for every cabin, but a small pharmacy, motion sick medicine. I know that's something that we were just talking about. You guys, I have taken it all. I've done it all. I've experimented and whatnot. Meclizine, which is over the counter. You guys, it looks like, I don't know if I have, I think I took it on my cruise, but Meclizine. You guys, most of you guys have probably heard of Dramamine or Bonine, which the active ingredient in Bonine and Dramamine is Meclizine. Okay, that is the active ingredient that's in there that actually causes you to not get motion sick, right? The other compounds in those things make you drowsy. Now, I don't want to be drowsy, right? I want to take care of my motion sickness, and I just don't want to be sick. So you guys can purchase Meclizine over the counter. Okay, I start taking my Meclizine the day before getting on the cruise ship, right? I tell my equilibrium, hey, it's time to pay attention, right? I then take my Meclizine every morning religiously on the cruise. I then continue to take my Meclizine a day or 2 after I get off the cruise ship. Because what ends up happening is you go from motion sick to land sick. Okay, so people that have motion sickness, they have an issue with their equilibrium, with their inner ear, right? And so they can't get with it, right? And so what that Meclizine does is help their equilibrium. It helps that inner ear, right? And so what happens is finally your system gets used to the rocking of the ship, and then you go to get off the ship, you still feel like you're rocking, right? And you still feel like you're rocking, even though you're sitting still. I forget the medicine. I asked front desk and they have it. Yeah. So it's probably most likely the most common thing that they will give out is Dramamine. Now, if you do have really, really bad motion sickness, you guys can also get scopolamine transdermal patches. It is a prescription that you can get from your doctor. It's a patch that you put behind your ear. It's good for 72 hours. So you'll put a patch on your ear, 72 hours later, you'll put one on you'll take this one off and you'll put this one on. 72 hours, you take this one off, you put another one on. You're going to alternate the ears, right? Trust me, guys, I've heard I've done it. I've tried it, everything. I started with scopolamine. I've gotten a little bit better with my motion sickness because of it. And now I can use that Meclizine. Imodium and stool softener. You guys, people will be eating differently than they are used to, and they will be happy they have this if and when they need it. You guys, people get real courageous. Oh, I've never had this, so I'm going to try it. You guys understand that on cruise ships, they cook heavily with butter, right? They use all of those different oils and butters and fats that maybe you're not typically used to eating. And then all of a sudden it gets super heavy in your system and your system decides to work one way or the other. So make sure that you guys pack some Imodium or stool softener. All right, the next one is allergy medications. You never know when someone may be allergic to the fauna in this new destination, right? Again, people, and I love it, people get real outgoing, right? They get real outgoing when they get on cruise ships, and they start doing all of the activities, right? They start doing all the fun activities, but also that means they're usually hiking or they're doing something outdoors, and maybe they're going to be around some different plant life or different outdoorsy things that they're not used to. Just grab that allergy medication just in case. Also, cold and flu medicine. I'm not hoping that you get sick, but in case you do, bring some cold and flu medicine and some airborne or emergency or anything like that. You start feeling a little something, you take it, boom, gone, right? So make sure you take that cold and flu medicine. Breathe right strips. This is for my snorers. People who like to snore, you have no choice. You don't get to choose if you're a snorer or a not snorer. You can't help the fact that you have a bifurcated septum. Like you can't, right? You can't handle that. Like whatever, right? But the ocean air is going to do something to that soft tissue, right? It's going to swell, which is going to cause you to have even more breathing problems. So putting those breathe right strips on at night will help open up your airway and you'll get better sleep. So then you're not dragging tush the rest of the day, right? Peppermint candies, yes, as a medicine, peppermint is a natural antiemetic. Antiemetic means that it is an anti-nausea medicine, right? So you start getting nauseous, pop a peppermint candy in there, it's going to help a lot too. I know some people who believe in like the oils and those sorts of things. They'll get peppermint oils, they'll rub it on their forehead, maybe oil or peppermint drops or things like that. I find this is super helpful with little kids who don't like to take medicine. I don't know about you guys, but I have a child that hates medicine. But if I give them a peppermint candy, they don't realize that they're being medicated. So always, I literally keep them in my car, right? Ginger works really well for nausea too. Yes, absolutely. I cannot stand ginger. Absolutely can't. When I was pregnant, they were like, here's these ginger tabs. I like that would make me more nauseous than anything else. So, but yes, ginger tabs or ginger candies or ginger ale, green apples. Green apples is another really good thing that you guys can use for nausea, right? But I find peppermint candies are at least something you can like keep in your purse or your bag. Over-the-counter heartburn medicine, Tums, Nexium, Prilosec. You guys, I keep them at my desk. They go everywhere with me, right? Take the Tums with you. Again, you're going to be eating new spices, butter, oils, all of those different things. So you want to make sure that you're able to take care of that, especially if you're somebody who is on a prescription for it, right? Motrin and or Tylenol. No one wants to have a hangover that they can't treat, right? But also, who knows, get a fever, right? You can always combat, right? You can take Motrin every 4 hours. You can take Tylenol every 4 hours. So you can actually take Motrin. 2 hours later, you can take Tylenol. 2 hours later, you can take Motrin. 2 hours later, you can take Tylenol, right? Because they're made up of different properties and they affect different parts of your body, right? Motrin and Tylenol, one will affect your liver, one will affect your kidneys, right? So you can at least kind of trade those off, right? So liquid IV, yep. Erica, I also, I travel with that everywhere. It is in my medicine bag is liquid IV. But you guys, I will take liquid IV even for, not even just for drinking, but if you're in a super humid climate, or maybe you're not being able to intake as much water as normal, you can take liquid IV. I did that. I didn't really drink all that much, but I woke up one day with a little bit of a headache. I took liquid IV. It's going to help with those electrolytes that maybe you've been sweating out or not getting in, right? Any prescription medications, you guys, I find this for whatever reason, people tend to forget to not necessarily take them, right? But they don't forget to take them with them, but they forget to take them, right? Another thing is, I know that those the Sunday to Saturday pill holders, those are super helpful. People really love those Sunday to Saturday, you guys, but understand that you're going internationally, right? You guys want to make sure that you're taking your prescriptions in the prescription bottle. Okay, take them in the prescription bottle. Now, if you guys want to take your Sunday to Saturday organizer with you and then organize them once you're on the cruise ship, fine, but they need to see that prescription should you be flagged. You would hate for your prescription medications to not be able to be identified and they deem them a narcotic or illegal substance and then they chuck them, right? Because they can't tell, they don't know. So make sure that you guys are taking your prescriptions in the prescription bottle, then you guys can organize them later. All right, now talking about some space-saving items, because cruise ship cabins are not large. They're usually not very big at all, right? We're talking a couple of 100 square feet, 200-300 square feet. So you guys got to save the space where you can. Also, not all RXs that are legal in the US are legal in all countries. Absolutely, right? It's a little bit different on a cruise ship. They won't hassle you as much, but that's more for like if you're flying to another country for sure. Okay, hanging toiletry bag. This is an example of one. This is another one, you guys, when I'm thinking about goodie bags. This isn't the one that I use for goodie bags, but this is an example of one. You guys, put all your toiletries in here. I'm a big proponent of packing cubes, right? Put all of your toiletries in here. You can hang it on that hook in the bathroom because there's not a lot of storage space. So this is another great idea. Maybe you guys are looking for, depending on your client, depending on what's needed or you know, whatnot. Maybe this isn't necessarily something you want to do, but maybe this is something you guys want to do if you guys are doing like a vendor show or a trade show, right? You guys can do these bags and then maybe put a scale in there, put a plug in there, put all these different things in there. It's a really cool, fun way. I know I just did that at a vendor show recently. That was the giveaway or the drawing that I was doing. All right, so hanging toiletry bag, magnetic hooks. There's never enough places to hang wet bathing suits, lanyards, small handbags, light jackets, etc. The walls are metal. In all of my time cruising, there's only been one time that this has not been true, and it was on the Carnival Radiance. So maybe it's in that class of ships, but that's the only ship I've ever been on that didn't have metal walls, and I was real irritated. I was like, but where am I supposed to put my magnets, right? So you guys, these are super, super helpful. They also hold quite a bit of weight. So like I said, you want to put a purse on there, a fanny pack, different things. When I go on a cruise, my kids are assigned one, right? This is where your lanyard goes. This is where your stuff goes. This is where you hang your wet bathing suit, right? So always looking for those space saving tools. All right, next thing, first aid kit. You don't want to go to the infirmary for a Band-Aid. I really like this one as it has safety pins and a flashlight in it. A flashlight, probably not something you would ever think of, or a night light, but if you're in an interior room, right? If you're in an interior room, you guys have no outside light, right? Your room is going to be dark. If you're traveling with little kiddos, they don't like the dark. If they need to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night or whatnot, right? Sometimes it's just kind of having that safety blanket, right? Of having a way to see, you know, they can see the things that go bump in the night, right? Even on a cruise ship. So I really like these, this little flashlight doesn't take batteries. It's a wind up, right? Now, you guys can take out or put in whatever you want in that first aid kit, but I kind of like the idea that it's in a pouch. It's all, again, you guys, packing cubes and whatnot. All kinds of fun little things in here, Band-Aids and antiseptic wipes and safety pins and all kinds of fun things, right? So that is, are there certain rooms that are better for motion sick is going to be midship. Think of it, I always tell people, think of a teeter-totter. Where's less movement on a teeter-totter, right? Right in the middle, the ship goes up and down, right? What part is less movement? All right, there's never enough plugs. Never enough plugs, you guys, never enough plugs to plug in all of your things. But understand that surge protectors are not allowed. I was a bad travel agent, and on this last cruise, I did not tell one of my friends who was coming that they could not bring surge protectors. They brought one, it was confiscated out of their luggage, and they had to get in the no item line when they got off the cruise ship. So make sure not to bring a surge protector. Get a non-surge protector. You guys can see here, it's going to give you more plugs. It's going to give you USB plugs. So you guys can get one of those. There's a couple different. Now, you guys can see here, it is cruise compliant, right? Cruise on. This will not be taken. You guys, I recommend leaving it in the box just so they can see the proof right there. I mean, it does have it on there, but they can see that it is a non-surge. All right, let me close some of these Amazon windows. All right, Downy wrinkle spray. Okay, Downy wrinkle spray. Just get the little travel size bottle. Right. What I do is I will hang up all of my clothes once I get to the room, all of my nice, you know, my nicer clothes or whatnot, hit them with some Downy wrinkle spray, let the gravity and the movement of the ship kind of move out some of those. Now, obviously, it's not going to get out the big creases, but some of those softer things. Lint roller. This is super important. I know some people, the husbands and wives or the kids, you know, I know my daughter, she loves the glittery, she likes the girly stuff, but if I'm packing her in the same suitcase as my son, he probably doesn't want to have glitter on his nice pants, right? So throw in a lint roller, it'll pick up that glitter, it'll pick up any fuzzy whatever's off the pants. Spot remover pen, just like one of those Tide pens. Get a little something on your shirt, you can easily spot remover it so it doesn't have to sit there forever. But also, this was a big win for us when we were on our 18-day cruise, because you can't take a month worth of clothes. And so we did mismatch like shirts with different pants or skirts or whatnot. And if you get a little something on your shirt, you don't want to have to not be able to rewear a shirt you planned on rewearing, right? And so you could easily remove that. Mini sewing kits, just a little tiny sewing kit. I know my husband's work gives them out. Oh, this is the one my husband's work gives out, but this is one. Oh no, that's Fingal. That's a that's the filing. But you guys can get just a little sewing kit, right? Needle, a couple of things of thread. So that way, if for some reason a button pops off, or whatever the case may be, a little hole or a snag or something, you guys can sew it up, because it's not like being at home where you can go just get something new out of your closet, right? So I've actually had to utilize that before. So super, super helpful. Bug spray. Dollar General sells a great kit for a little over $1. Yeah, exactly. I'm talking not super fancy. It's not going to be thread that matches every color of your wardrobe, but it'll get the job done. Bug spray. This was a huge one when I decided to do a cruise in July down to Belize and Honduras. Humidity was super crazy. Obviously, all the bugs and the yucks and the whatever. I hate bugs. I hate insects. I watched a documentary last night, and I found out that for every one human, there's a billion insects, flying insects. And I immediately turned that off because I was like, I don't need to know that I literally have a billion insects to my name. But they have a thing to combat that. Now, however you guys feel about bug spray, that's fine. I don't like the smell of DEET. I don't like to smell like bug spray. Now, my kiddos, they love the Buggables. They're like little wristbands. We do bring those. We usually put them on our ankles, whatnot. But because I knew that I was going to be doing some excursions where we actually walked into the rainforest, I knew that it was high rain season. What I did was I actually got this, and I went to my garage, put the garage door open, hung up my jeans and a couple of shirts and my backpack, and sprayed this on my clothes and my backpack. Okay, then I let it dry. It didn't smell like it, but also one of the really cool things is that it will actually, you can get wet. It's actually good for a couple of different washes. And so that was something that was important to me too, is that if I should rain, what comes after the rain? Even more insects. So I wanted to be protected in that instance. So this was something that I could easily spray prior to. It takes some pre-planning, right? And spray it on your backpacks and whatnot. And I did not get a single bug bite. And let me tell you, it did rain on us while we were hiking through the rainforest, and I didn't get a single bug bite. So I'm a pretty big proponent of that thing, right? Aloe with lidocaine. You guys, aloe is great, but aloe with lidocaine is better. You guys, lidocaine is a numbing solution. So not only are you going to be soothing the sunburn, but you're also going to numb it. As much as you put sunscreen on and as much as you don't want to get sunburnt, there is a chance that you're probably going to. Get that bottle of aloe with lidocaine, put it in your in-cabin refrigerator. You get that sunburn, put that on there. Now, be sure that nobody is allergic to topical lidocaine, because the next thing that you have to worry about is an allergic reaction. We did not realize that my husband is allergic to topical lidocaine. We slathered that all over him when we were in Cancun, and then he broke out, and then I was glad that I had Benadryl. All right. So you guys make sure that if you get it, make sure you're not allergic to it. Get a little bottle of witch hazel. It's like Windex to the Greeks. I hope you guys understand that analogy. I love those movies. You guys, witch hazel is amazing. In the event that you get a bug bite, immediately put that on there. It'll stop bothering you. I've heard people use this for all kinds of different things. They'll use it on their face. It's great on cuts and boo-boos and whatnots, right? So a little bottle of witch hazel. We love My Big Fat Greek Wedding, right? Lavender essential oils work wonders for on burns. Absolutely. There's a lot of different remedies out there. I'm not saying one is I'm not discrediting any others. These are just things that I found that are super helpful. And I try to find things that will work for multi-purpose things, right? A refillable water bottle. Okay. This is a couple of different things. One, I hate getting my frozen drinks and then the melting before I can drink them all. Like I can drink it all gone. We brought one this last time on our cruise. We were down in We are at Perfect Day at Coco K. I got a strawberry daiquiri. I actually had ice in my cup. I put my strawberry daiquiri in my cup, and it kept my drink so cold that my drink was actually frozen. I had strawberry daiquiri like slush. Like it was so hard. I had to like put it out in the sun to melt it some. So I always take like a refillable water bottle, a Yeti or something like that, right? Also just water, keep my water cold on the cruise ship as well. Beach towel. Do you guys know why I always suggest bringing your own towels? Any reason why? Any reason why I suggest bringing your own beach towel to find your chair? Because they charge you if you lose theirs. You guys, I will not, I refuse to pay $25 if I don't return a towel that is the cruise ships, right? So I always take my own. Now, I do usually take, like, we got a cabana, so the cabana came with their towels. I didn't have to worry about that, right? So I like my own beach towels. Plus, I actually like a towel that's going to fit and wrap around me. None of this like half wrap or anything like that. And I like to be able to take it back to my room. Towel clips. I think towel clips are amazing. Holds your towel to your chair. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but that you sit down on your chair, your towel falls behind you and you're doing that like awkward towel wiggle to get it back behind you. So you guys can get these towel clips. They'll clip right onto your towel. Plus it gets breezy and you don't want your towels to blow away on the deck, or you think you've put enough on your chair to hold it down, and before you know it, everything is flying away. I carry it on my beach towel to use as my blanket on the plane, so that in a travel video, and I'm always cold on the plane. That's a great idea, right, Sunny? I have the opposite happen to me on planes. I think they're never cool enough. I don't ever think they're cold enough. But yes, that's a great idea. Absolutely. I actually found when we went to Hawaii earlier this year, I actually got as a present to my whole family, they were those sand towels. They're those towels that like the sand comes off really easily. They're lightweight and they fold up really, really small. And I was a little skeptical. I was like, there's no way, you guys, the sand right off, because I hate taking sand home with me from the beach. So towel clips. Love those towels. I love them. Love them. Lanyard, you guys. I have all the lanyards. You guys take a lanyard with you. I did not forget mine, but I forgot the rest of my families. I guess I was having a selfish moment. What kind of parent and wife was I? But we ended up buying lanyards. You guys, it's a really fun way to kind of keep track. I don't have mine here. Oh, my daughter has one. I can kind of show you. On her lanyard, I collect pins, and apparently my little mini-me decides she wants to do the same thing. So we're going to start doing it for her. But on my lanyard, I have pins of all the countries I have visited on the cruise ship. It's kind of a fun way to kind of keep track. So you guys can see here. Let me stop sharing my screen for 1 second. So maybe you guys can see it a little bit better. You guys can see here on the lanyard, there's one that says it's the Bahamas, it's Nassau, right? And then also with Royal Caribbean, I know other cruise lines, they do have their things too, but with Royal Caribbean, they give you pins. So this is my daughter's diamond pin. I don't know if you guys can see the diamond in it up at the top, but we also put these on their little lanyards. It's a fun way. I think this one is this is my husband's. There's his diamond pin. This is one that I actually got from Princess. It has the medallion. If you guys have ever seen the medallion with Princess, this is what the medallion looks like. You guys can actually get fun little things to hold the medallion if you wanted to, whether it's a necklace or a bracelet or whatever. I didn't need to be that fancy. It's literally just right there on the lanyard. Now, you guys, I always recommend to get the lanyards that have the clip on it. So that way I wear these, maybe I order a drink, I'm sitting poolside, I can just hand them this Makes it really easy too when they bring me back my card. I know exactly which one is mine. They're not having to like go through a deck of cards to bring it back to me. So again, lanyards, it's a fun way, plus hopefully a little less awkward to hopefully you're not losing your CPAS. I know that's a big one as well. You guys, this is also another fun thing that you guys can get for your clients, right? You guys can get them these. What is something that's really fun that you guys could put in that pouch? What is something that you guys, because we're always thinking about clients and marketing, what are some things that you guys could put in there? Yes, Misty, it's to hold your CPAS card, which is your room. What's something you guys can put in there? There we go. Business card, right? Put a business card in there. Send these off to your clients, put a business card in there. When they're talking about how amazing you are, they can go ahead and share your business card with other people. I made koozies and thank you gifts. Absolutely, right? These are just different ideas that you guys can use. Okay. All right, your carry-on bag. Remember, I told you guys that they're going to take your luggage, right? They're going to take your luggage when you get to the cruise port. Carry a backpack with you or some kind of carry on, because it is going to take some time for those suitcases to get to your room. And so you don't want to just not be able to have fun or not be able to do certain things because you don't have them. So if in the event, you know, you're going on a warm cruise, a cruise that you're going to need a bathing suit for, throw that in your carry-on. Any prescription meds you may need to take, right? Just in case maybe you're going to early dining, your luggage isn't back in time, so you don't have, you'd hate to not have your prescription medications, right? Sunscreen, lanyard, and important documents, which we are going to go over important documents in just a little bit. All right, you guys, did you know? Here is some good information you may or may not know. Cruise ships have theme nights. Make sure your clients know so they can bring appropriate attire, i.e. 70s night, Hawaiian luau, all white night. Maybe it's a dress up night, whatever the case may be. How do I find this out, Krista? I'm glad you guys all asked because somebody always ends up asking. I did not know what the theme nights were going to be on our cruise. I Googled Royal Caribbean Compass, Oasis of the Seas, Bahama Cruise, out of New York. You guys, people put everything on the internet. I was able to look it up. I was able to look at the compass. I was able to see that there was a white night, a Caribbean night, there was a white night, a Caribbean night, and there was one other. I can't remember what the other one was, but I was able to see what those theme nights were like. The main dining hall has a dress code. Like it, don't like it, whatever, there is one, right? So it is, you know, it's gotten a little lax over the couple of years, which makes me a little sad because I feel like there's not a lot of times in your life where you actually get to dress up. I also utilize, and my family hates it, but I utilize the cruise for my family photos, which I'm going to talk about in just a little bit. But formal. Formal is cocktail dresses or elegant pantsuits for ladies and dark suit or dress pants and sports coat for men, right? Smart casual, oh, dress to impress. That's right. That's what the third one was. So you guys dress to impress. Typically they used to have 2 formal nights. This one, they had 1 formal night and then a dress to impress night. Smart casual, that means pants, open neck shirts for men, skirts for dresses, slacks, sweaters for the ladies. Casual is jeans and collared shirts for men and sundresses or pantsuits with blouses for the ladies. No baseball caps allowed. You guys, you can't just come straight from the pool into a formal dining room setting, right? You want to wear dress shorts, you want to wear a button-up shirt, right? Those are totally fine, but kind of keep to the theme, okay? When ordering your food in the formal dining hall, you can order as many appetizers, main courses, and desserts. No need to fret if you can't decide. There are going to be nights where maybe nothing sounds all that great on the main course, but 3 appetizers sound good. Maybe an appetizer sounds good, and maybe 3 courses, 3 of the different foods sound good. Maybe 2 different desserts sound good. You guys, if you want to try escargot, but you're not sure if you're going to like escargot, get the salad also, right? So, but order them then. Don't order an appetizer and then say, oh my gosh, escargot is horrible. Can I get this, right? Because what they do is they go to the main kitchen, they bring it all back, right? And then they give it to you. So if you all of a sudden order, they will go do it. I'm not saying that they won't, but be courteous, right? Because once they bring your appetizer, now they're working on going to going to the kitchen and bringing your main courses. Okay. When ordering food, not only is there an infirmary, there is also a mortuary and a jail on board. Christine, there are different requirements for that. I'll go over that in just a little bit. Second dining, so infirmary, there's a mortuary and a jail on board as well. Hopefully nobody has to learn about any of the three of those, but there are all three. There is a curfew for kids. You guys, unfortunately, some people can't parent the way they need to parent, and so they've had to curfew them, and there are a couple of cruise lines that are really cracking down on this. If your kid is outside of the cabin after curfew, they need to be with their parent. Basically, what this is eliminating is kids that are running down the hallways, yelling and screaming at midnight, right? So there is a curfew. Second dining or late dining is usually the best and will be the first to book up. This is because the early dining is too close to set sail or ports, making you rush to get ready or making you board sooner than required. Now, some cruise lines, they do look at what time set sail is, and they adjust the dining times accordingly. But typically I have found maybe you don't have to be back on the ship until 6, but your dining is at 5. So now you're having to come back early to get ready or whatnot. So typically second is best. Muster drill, you guys, this is a big one that has changed in the last couple of years since COVID. We always say some good things came from COVID, and I think muster drill is absolutely one of those. Muster drill is done differently with every cruise line. Typically, you will be ushered to your muster station to be checked off. Your muster station will be printed on your boarding pass. So on your well, you guys won't have your key cards yet, but when you guys get on your electronic boarding pass, it will tell you your muster station. It might call it your assembly station, but at the very bottom, it will say your muster station. When you guys get on the ship, very first thing you're going to do is go to your muster station. You're going to be checked off. They're going to go through a couple of different things with you. Get it done, be done with it. They have to have that completed. It is a requirement by the United States Coast Guard prior to the ship setting sail. If you are not a big drinker and don't feel the need to buy the alcohol package, stick to the drink of the day. It's usually the cheapest. What is a muster drill? Great question, Carissa. It is a muster station assigns you to a lifeboat. So again, it just kind of like when you get on a plane, they got to go over through all the emergency stuff. Same thing, the muster drill in the event of an emergency. If this horn blows, these kind of blows, you're going to arrive to your muster station. Those in that muster station are assigned to a lifeboat. This isn't Titanic. There is enough lifeboats for everyone, right? Go to your muster station, right? If in the event that there is an emergency, they're also going to tell you if your kids are in the kids club, don't go to the kids club and get your kids because your kids aren't going to be there. Your kids were going to be taken from the kids club and be brought to the correct muster station. So always go to the muster station, just like on a plane. They tell you mask first, then mask your kids if you like them. If you don't, if you have multiple, choose which one you like first, right? Just kidding. So that's a muster station. Again, drinker. If you're not a big drinker, you guys could probably stick to the drink of the day. If you're not a big drinker, you know, then maybe you don't need a drink package. But understand that different drink packages include different things, right? So if you get the deluxe package, right, it's going to include your coffees, your drinks, your juices, all of those different things. There's also like a bubbles package. They call them different things on different cruise lines, but that's going to include your soda and whatnot. The only cruise line that I know of, and not that I'm not saying that I know everything, but one cruise line that I do know of that provides that soda is included. You don't have to buy a drink package. Anybody know what cruise line that is? Anybody know what cruise line offers soda? There you go. Disney. Oh, Virgin Voyages. See, told you. I don't know everything. There we go. There's 2 cruise lines that offer soda, right? Disney and Virgin Voyages. So, so drink package. Also, in the event that you are in a cabin with somebody who doesn't drink alcohol but is over the age of 21, you guys can get an exemption by calling the cruise line. Okay, so let's say husband and wife, right? Husband and wife, maybe one of them is a recovering alcoholic. They don't drink alcohol anymore, but the other one does, right? So one of them can purchase the alcohol package and the other one can purchase just the soda package or a lesser drink package, but that does have to be waived because the rule is if one person over the age of 21 buys the drink package, the alcohol drink package, then everyone in the room over 21 has to purchase it. But I do know that you are able to do that. Gloria, there's an exception with everything. For instance, that 18-day cruise that I took on Royal Caribbean, that rule wasn't in effect either, but on all other Royal Caribbean cruises they have. So I always tell people, don't ever just assume things, right? We always want to call the cruise line. We always just want to double check and make sure. Now, the thing with Virgin Voyages that's different is they don't have a typical drink package. They have a bar tab. That bar tab can be used on anyone, right? Stacy could purchase $300 worth of bar tabs and she could buy around at the bar and put it and it'll come out of her bar tab, right? Whereas with Royal Caribbean or Carnival well, Disney doesn't have the alcohol drink packages, but with all of these other cruise lines, your alcohol drink package is just for you. You can't purchase an alcoholic beverage for someone else. And that's why they have that rule, is because they don't want somebody buying a drink package. For instance, let's say my husband gets a drink package and I don't buy the alcohol drink package and he's just funneling me alcohol, right? That's what they don't want to have happen, which is why you have to call in for the exception to the rule. Consider getting the picture package. They are great pictures for Christmas, and then you don't have to sit and choose which ones you like while on board. You guys, I have a friend, God love every bit and piece of him. We have been best friends for years, but he is the cheapest man I know. Okay, even he realized the importance of the picture package on this cruise that we went on last month. He's like, oh man, I never thought about it, right? The pictures they're taking are free. And then I just buy a picture package and I get these photos and they're great photos because he doesn't like to dress up. So I documented the one time he dressed up in probably the next 5 years, right? When do you pick all these add-ons? Leanne, that is something that's going to be done through the app or online, your clients. And again, that's something that I cover in another training called After They Book, right? So that's when they can do those excursions. That's when they can do the drink packages. That's when they can do those things. Now, some cruise lines, there is commission involved. Most cruise lines, there is no commission when it comes to those extras. Okay. Let's see. So picture package, you guys get the picture package. Also, pre-purchasing these add-ons prior to getting on the cruise ship is going to save you guys money. So I would always recommend doing those purchases pre. Okay. I scored with a Labor Day sale before we got on the cruise and I purchased a bunch of stuff for a lot cheaper. The casino takes cash. If you gamble, bring cash so you don't have to ensue international withdrawal fees or room charges. This is another big change, but I've left it there just because you can still withdraw money from ATMs. They have this cute little function now on the slot machine because your room key is also like your casino card, your player's card. You can actually charge money to your room. Real easy. You put in your whatever code and you can charge money to your card. It gets real easy, $20, $100, $20. Before you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I've taken out all of this money. So if you're somebody that wants to put yourself on a budget in the casino, bring the cash that you're willing to spend because that charge room thing gets real easy, right? As soon as the ship sets sail, be sure to turn your cell phones to airplane mode. Roaming charges are expensive. Check with your cell phone company for cruise cell phone plans. This is also another thing that a bone of contention people will call or talk about or ask questions about. Some cruise lines or some phone carriers do have cruise packages. Okay. but I would be very careful and make sure that you know exactly what you need to do with your phone when you do that. You guys, I have heard the horror stories of people that don't put it on airplane mode. They keep using it as if it's just any other. Well, I have international, or I'm allowed to use my phone in 27 countries, right? You guys, be careful. Did you say you can pre-purchase a photo package on Royal Caribbean? Yeah, yep. I bought my photo package prior to. Did it all through the app with Royal Caribbean. Is the Wi-Fi on the ship good that you can still keep in touch with your family? Depends on the cruise ship. Royal Caribbean actually recently just updated their carrier for their Wi-Fi. I had Wi-Fi. It came with my suite and it was perfect. No issue. My husband, we did another training that you guys can find on my YouTube. It was a live from Oasis to the Seas. I was in my room. He was on his phone. He went all over the ship. It was fine. Now, there was recently another agent that was on Princess, and he said that they have not updated their Wi-Fi coverage. And in the middle of the day when everybody was using it, there was a lot of lag. So there was a lot of lag there. Now, when it comes to the Wi-Fi, right, it depends on which Wi-Fi you have, whether or not you can stream and whatnot. You can typically, if you're really worried, you guys, I use cruises to disconnect. But if you're really worried about staying connected with the people at home who should have just been on the cruise with you in the first place, if you are wanting to call them up and brag to them about being on the cruise ship, use the Wi-Fi and you guys can call via Facebook. That's what I do. I'll make phone calls from Facebook via the Wi-Fi because there's that call through Facebook option. So that's what I did. Now, also, if you have an iPhone, which is the only time you're ever going to hear me say that iPhones have it on Androids, you guys are able to call other iPhones just over the internet, right? But that's, you guys, this is the only time it's recorded. You guys heard me say it, that's the only time iPhones have it on us. Yeah, so you can, so that's the iPhone thing, right? And you guys, I know you guys have other questions in there, but let me try to get through this. And if you guys have questions, I can get through that in a little bit. Let's see. If traveling with a group, think about investing in walkie-talkies to communicate when you aren't in your stateroom. I've heard recently some cruise ships have banned this, so I would check with specific cruise lines. I know that I've done it and it works. Now they have with the apps, you can actually communicate via the app with other people, even if you have no Wi-Fi, you guys can actually text and communicate through the apps on most cruise lines. So the walkie-talkie thing, you know, take it or leave it. The space under your bed perfectly fits your unpacked suitcases. Cabins are small. Use the space wisely. If you don't believe me, go hit up Stacey Wren and ask to see the video where she puts her body underneath the bed to show you the space underneath the bed to put the suitcase. And I know she's on here, and I know I talk about it every time I possibly can because it was a super cute little reel that she did to show that space underneath the bed. Leave the stilettos at home unless you want to break an ankle when the ship suddenly sways. You guys, I say this kind of humorously, but not humorously. You guys, I saw it happen on this last cruise. I saw somebody roll their ankle and then they're limping around and they've got, you guys, I get it. You want to be cute. You want to be sexy. You want to put on them cute little heels, save them for the club on land where you're not moving. Okay. You never know which way the boat's going to sway, and you don't want to have to hurt. You don't want to get hurt and then your cruise just goes all bad, right? Bring a crossover bag or fanny pack to carry small items around the ship. I literally have a fanny pack. It's super thin. It's not, it's not overly obnoxious. Oh, I still have a magnet in here from Blue Lagoon Islands, right? It's not super obnoxious, but I'm able to put things in here. I can, all kinds of fun stuff. Oh, I have money. I'll put money in there. I'll put, my phone. There's a clear little thing. So I get that. Not super expensive. I think I bought it at Walmart. So bring that, because I don't know about you guys, but my bathing suit doesn't have a pocket. I mean, unless you're talking about the shelf, but we're not talking about that. Laundry is not free, and very few ships have a laundry mat. If taking a long cruise, invest in a scrub a wash bag. You guys, these are a little bit expensive. The only time you would ever need it, like I said, is if you're going on a long cruise, 18 days, where maybe you can't take all of the things that you need, right? So you guys could look into investing in that. Now, if you guys do your princess training, right? You guys do your princess training, you guys hit Commodore, you guys will get, I think it's one free or one complimentary bag of laundry. Some suites, I know the suite that we were in, each person in the suite got one dry cleaned. We got to each have one dry cleaned outfit. So I used that. We all got our stuff dry cleaned. Now, some cruise lines, I think Princess and Carnival, I believe Disney, they do have onboard laundry mats. I was surprised it worked even with people. Okay, so laundry. Bring cash if you wish to tip at the end of the cruise above and beyond your paid gratuities. Select earliest onboard time to begin your vacation and use ship amenities. This is one reason you guys want to do your check-in as soon as check-in opens, because they will go fast, right? It'll go fast, those earlier check-ons. If you aren't catching a flight till later, opt for late disembarkation. This makes it super easy to find your luggage, because all your luggage is gonna get picked up at your room the night before. It's gonna all go through customs. It's all gonna be scanned when it comes off the ship, and it's gonna be in like a warehouse for you to go get, right? So you guys are going to want it. I always like to go later because it makes it easier for me to go find my bags. Every cruise line allows you to bring a certain amount of alcohol beverages on board. Check your specific cruise line. I actually did when at convention this last year, one of the things that I talked about was the alcohol and beverages that you can bring on board. I think Disney by far has the best bring your alcohol on board option, but every cruise line does have a little bit. Typically it's, I know like Royal, I think is like 1 bottle of wine per person over the age of 21. Disney, I believe, is 2 6-packs per person, 2 6-packs of alcoholic beverage per person over the age of 21. They're all a little bit different. Now, some people have this idea of, I'm going to go to the duty-free shop. I'm going to go pick up a bottle of booze in the duty-free shop, and then I'm going to drink it on the cruise ship. Nope. They'll hold it. So you guys aren't going to get that. Same thing. You think that you get off the ship, I'm going to go buy a bottle of booze and bring it back on. Nope. They're going to hold it. You're going to have to go pick it up later. You will need to sign in for princess trainings. When are you eligible for Commodore status? It tells you what to do and how to sign up for your free cruise. Yeah, you have to do your Commodore, and then you have to go through the benefits section on the Princess site in order to get that. You can't just go to the Princess portal and start booking that way. Download the cruise line app. Every single cruise line has a cruise line app. Disney has one, Royal has one, Carnival has one. They all have their own app. Make sure you guys download that prior to getting on the ship. Pack more hangers. There's never enough. Or you guys can always ask your cabin steward to give you more, to bring you in more hangers. Okay, steamers, irons, and some flat irons are prohibited on the ship. You guys didn't hear this from me, but I bring my steamer on every cruise, and I do it because I take it apart, I wrap it up, and I put it by my shoes. Okay, but if you get it confiscated, don't come back and say, but Krista does it too, right? If you're gonna chance it, hide it between dense rubber shoes. I can't live without my steamer. And what's funny is I don't even think we used it this last cruise ship. All right. All right. So some fun things. Decorating your cabin door is not only fun, but helpful, right? They also have these really fun things. You guys can see this fish right here. This is on a Disney. They call it fish something, and I can't remember what it's called. Any of my Disney people in here, you might be able to remind me, but it's like a little hook, and people will put these cute little like bags, and they'll put like little goodies, and people will drop goodies in there. You guys can decorate your door. This was our door on a Princess cruise. All they ask is that you use magnets. Please don't tape things to the door, because then it just, over time, the goop and whatnot, it jacks it up. So make sure you guys are bringing magnets. Now, they stuck these to our door. I did not. They want to tape things to my door? Totally fine. I did not do it. Okay, you guys are going left field over there talking about something else in the chat. Okay. So decorating your cabin door, it's fun, right? Girls trips, couples getaways, honeymoons, anniversaries, birthdays, family reunions, weddings. I know that Sushil actually yesterday talked about something really fun that she does with her groups. She'll actually put her cabins in groups, and then they'll do like goodie bags for everybody within their smaller group. So that's another fun thing that you guys could suggest with your groups or whatnot. All right, important documents. Now, I always have to give kind of a background to this, you guys. This is not just stuff that I've read about on the internet. These are things that I actually know a thing or two about because I was a notary for a very long time. I was also a paramedic for a very long time. I am also was a single mom for a very long time. So these are all things that I know to be absolutely 100% true. Okay, and I want to make sure that we go over these. Okay, passport and visa. Make sure that you bring a copy and leave a copy at home. That is a safety thing. What happens if your passport goes missing? You want to be able to have a copy. I also do recommend take a copy and put a copy in every suitcase just in case. Marriage certificate. This is required, but this isn't required, but I bring it and a copy just in case. You guys, the reason that I took my marriage certificate for a while, the reason I took it was because I still traveled in my maiden name because I didn't want to change my passport. I still had a couple years left on my passport, so I traveled in my maiden name, but I took my marriage certificate with me just in case for any reason something should get flagged. Okay. If you are traveling with a child that you are not the legal guardian for, make sure you have a letter from the legal guardian that has been notarized giving permission for you to make medical decisions between certain dates. Make sure they specify their wishes in the letter. You guys, this is actually just something you should do in general if you're ever going anywhere with anybody's kid that is not yours, right? If you are traveling with your child and the other parent isn't traveling, make sure that you have legal court documents or a letter notarized by the other parent giving permission to travel outside of the country. Now, again, some people always are asking different kinds of questions. If the other parent is deceased, carry the death certificate. I know it sounds morbid, but they're going to ask and you're going to have to prove it. Now, something else I learned on this last cruise and something that I kind of knew but didn't really know was if you are traveling with an adult, so someone over the age of 18, but they're under the age of 21, they also need to have documentation. So for instance, our oldest, 19, he's an adult. He was cruising with us. When we went to check in, they actually asked me for documentation proving that I was his mother, that he was with a legal guardian. Okay, so don't just think because a kiddo is over 18 that they're able to cruise, because it is required by cruise lines. If you are under the age of 21, that you have to be cruising with somebody over the age of 21. So unfortunately, if you guys have those people that are getting married at 19, they want to take a honeymoon and go on a cruise, they're not going to be able to do it. So thankfully, because I carry my marriage certificate and I carry my birth certificate everywhere. My oldest, his last name is still Smith. Right? That is it. He has my maiden last name. I am a Wiley, right? So I had to prove that I once was a Smith and I was his mother. So again, you guys, I keep all of that information all in the same place. It goes everywhere with me. Also, as a safety measure, bring a copy and leave a copy with someone of your itinerary, just so that someone somewhere knows where you're going to be at all times, just in case something should go wrong. Wait, what? A 20-year-old can't go on a cruise without a parent, without a legal guardian, without an adult who is taking responsibility for them. So, Alyssa, let's say you are going on a cruise with your kid who is 20 and they want to take their significant other that is also 20. There needs to be documentation of that. I know it's horrible. My son was like, but I'm an adult. And I'm like, I get it. But in the eyes of the cruise line, anybody under 21, they want a responsible party. Yep. Oh, you're welcome. I knew the age thing. I knew the 21-year-old thing, but I guess what I failed to not understand was how they got on the, like, I didn't think I was going to need anything extra. And that was something that she's like, yeah, I had to show proof. So get a letter from somebody somehow, some way. Again, like I always say, call the cruise line and ask, do you just make a photocopy of, you have to take your passport with you. I take copies of my passport in my suitcase in case my passport should get lost, but you should always take your passport with you. Absolutely. Okay, the last one, and for whatever reason, it's covered down here. Let's see if I can pull it up. All right, perfect. So this is the document holder that I use. Boom, right here, right here, in here is all of the things, right? I have birth certificates, I have marriage certificates, I have court documents for legalities for child custodies, right? I even still have some more of those cruise tags that I was talking about, right? I have our passports. Our passports are in here. Our passport cards are in here somewhere. I even travel with our social security cards. I travel with extra photos of people, right? There's always extra photos in here. I always bring those. You just never know. Sunny asked, do babies have to have passports? Hold on. Let me show you this. This is my daughter's very first passport photo. She literally popped out of the womb and went and got her very first passport because she was 6 months old when she went on her very first cruise. Now, they're always like, that doesn't look like, I mean, she's a baby, but yes, she had her, and she traveled with that being her passport photo until we went and got this one. This is her latest passport photo. I keep all of these, you guys, always. I keep them all. I mean, my kids, right? Here's my other kids. I kept both of theirs, right? I keep them all. You just never know. My kids go missing, you're gonna have a photo to take with you to go find them, right? All of that info is in there. You guys, I keep it handy dandy in here, and thank goodness I did, because you just never know what information you're going to need. Wait, is it recommended or required to have a passport? Leanne, that is not a yes or no. Passports, while we're on the conversation of passports, okay? Passports are required to cruise, except for a cruise that is deemed a closed loop cruise by the cruise ship. Virgin Voyages, they require a passport. Every single cruise, doesn't matter. All right, they require passport. Stacy's shaking her head no, but I was told by the Virgin Voyages BDM that it is required. They don't, that they require that. Oh, did they relax it? You guys, I never recommend anybody ever going out of the country without a passport. Now, if you guys want to, let's say it's a closed loop cruise, right? Closed loop cruise, they are like, no, but I want to get a passport. Please understand I just wouldn't do it, right? But let's say they go on a cruise to Jamaica. They get to Jamaica, they break their leg, they're in the hospital. The cruise ship leaves without them. They're still in the hospital in Jamaica. How are they getting home, right? So you guys want to make sure, I just don't, the safetiness of somebody leaving the country without a passport, I don't think it's a good idea. But the only time you don't need a passport, like I said, closed loop cruise, means that it's leaving out of the port, coming back to the same port, never leaving North America. But even still, don't assume that it's a closed loop. Call the cruise line. And then you guys have your client sign a document saying that they realize that they understand that. Yep. Stacy literally put it in there as I was saying it, right? Always get my clients to sign off on the CC authorization that they understand it's preferred to travel with the passport on the cruises. Absolutely. Because I don't ever want my clients to come back to me and say, well, I didn't know, right? Sign. Get them to sign that stuff, right? All right, guys, any questions for me? I know we are way over that hour, but any questions? Is there an official form for that? Yeah, you make it, they sign it, it's official. But no, there's not like one already created for you, but you can, honestly, guys, your clients, you can make your clients sign whatever form you, guess what? You know what else? What other form that you guys should be having your clients sign? If they're denying travel protection, if they're denying travel protection, they're going to be signing a document saying that they're denying travel protection. Oh, my allergies. For Virgin Voyages, if you are doing a closed loop cruise from Miami, you can use a birth certificate and a driver's license. Yes. But again, Monica, I would always just double check to make sure. Because, so for instance, the cruise that I took out of New York, right? I could have had either my birth certificate and my driver's license, or I could have just had the, what's the new driver's license called? The more whatever. I just needed that. Thank you for making my brain hurt. You're welcome, Chris. I told you guys, I started this off by saying that there's a lot of info. You're welcome, Caitlin. This was super helpful. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Leanne. Can I get a copy of, so Christine, this is, I'll put all of the links in this recording when I post it. Misty, it's really up to you. It's something that I just have a conversation with my clients, but if you wanted to create a document that had all of this, if you wanted to create a checklist, I know some people, they'll make decks on Canva. I know some people will create Google Sheets or Google Forms. I know some people, they use Travelify or Traveljoy, so they're forms that are in those platforms as well. So it's really whatever you want to do for your business. You're welcome, Erica. I also have my clients sign that they are responsible for their own safety and well-being while traveling, including arriving to all flights, transportation activities, etc., in a timely manner. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, the real ID, Karen. That's what I was talking about. I did, and that's what I was told. Thank you. Great info. You're welcome. You're welcome, Alexis. Thank you so much, Krista. This was very informative. You're welcome, Monica. You're welcome, Michelle. You guys, any other questions before we hop off? Kind of out there question, but do you know anything about bringing weighted blankets on board? I sailed Sunday and can't sleep without it. I was thinking of bringing it in my carry. Yeah, I don't see why not. There's a blanket. It's not like it's weighted down by bullets and a handgun, right? So you should be fine. But when in doubt, Google it or call the cruise line. Is this recording going to you? Yes, Elaine, it will go to my YouTube, and I'll also share it on all of the different Facebook pages. Any recommendations on a smaller cruise line? There's all kinds. I mean, there's luxury cruise lines. There's yachts. There's all kinds of different cruise lines out there. Do TAs get discounts for drink? Do travel agents get discounts for drink packages? Nope, I did not on mine get a discount. Sometimes, depending on the cruise line, they might be having deals or discounts. Travelify, and what was the other sort? Oh, so Misty, some people use Travelify and some people use Traveljoy. They're very similar programs that you can pay for. You're welcome, Elizabeth. My YouTube channel is Travel by Tilly. Not with Tilly, Travel by Tilly. Travel by Tilly. All right, you guys, do you know the earliest time you can board a cruise, or should I call for real? So typically, I mean, you'll know at check-in, it'll tell you when you have to, you'll get assigned a check-in time, but typically they're 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, because you have to understand, they get people off. I think most cruise ships, they have their final passenger get off the ship around 8 or 9, depending on the cruise, depending on when they get into the port, and then they have to flip the ship. Right. And so, like when we did our ship inspection, we didn't get on our ship inspection until 10:30. Everybody was off the cruise. They were already starting to flip things. So but usually I think the earliest is about 1 or 2. You're welcome. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your Monday. I look forward to seeing you guys out there watching all your many successes. Bye, guys.